It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and happy Friday, and welcome to another edition of Focus Fridays on That Business Show. Now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Each and every Friday, Juliann Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, joins us in the co-host seat to help us focus on the worst day of all, the one to focus, which is Friday. So, Juliann, welcome to the program.
Do you know, this morning I'm having a little trouble focusing, too. I stayed up late to watch my Kansas City Chiefs take first place in the AFC West division. So, I'm like happy and also like, oh, here we are. It's Friday. It's an early morning, isn't it?
So, of all days, if you can focus on Friday, then you got the rest of the week figured out.
We got this.
So, Juliann is busy preparing for the upcoming Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference, which is going on April 27th and 28th. So, let's chat a little bit about that and some developments in the conference. You got some new sponsors, including Tampa Bay Business Owners, TBBO.
We're so excited to have you guys on board. It's great. And also, That Business Show is one of our media partners. Also, we're still looking for sponsors. You know, it's not a done deal. So if you're interested in being a part of the Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference, you can go to Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference. We do now have a little shorter URL. It's FOE.com. So you don't have to worry about spelling entrepreneurs anymore. FOConference.com, and you can actually download the sponsor packet and presenter packet. We're also looking for breakout presenters. We're still taking applications for that. So we're very excited. It's coming along really well. The Wyndham is about to open next month and in Clearwater, and things are going great.
And be reminded of the early bird special pickup tickets before the end of the year, before the price increases. Also, her keynote speaker, Michael Gerber, will be in attendance, and he released a
new book
okay.
Just this week. It's called Beyond the E-Myth. If you've not read the E-Myth Revisited, I highly recommend you read that. And then go right into Beyond the E-Myth. There's a special right now. If you reach out to me at Focus on You Strategy, we'll send you the link for a digital version for $1.99.
All right. And again, focus on entrepreneursconference.com to register for that. Again, April 27th and 28th. So, again, a 2-day conference with a lot of good information, a lot of great speakers. So be sure to put that on your calendar now. Also, you got a couple CEO exchanges coming up. We talk about CEO exchanges a lot of times on this program. A couple coming up on the 20th and the 22nd. And so for listeners that are tuning in for the first time, fill them in on what a CEO conference or CEO exchange is.
CEO exchanges are a place for business owners to go to present a challenge and get some feedback and get some help, basically. A lot of times entrepreneurs just don't have a place to go to get that kind of feedback. They can't talk to their employees, or they're tired of talking to their spouses about all their work issues. So this is a safe place to come, present a challenge, and get great feedback from your peers, people who've been there, great resources, and it's done in a very facilitated manner. The trained facilitator helps facilitate it so we get through it, and it's limited to 10 people, and they sell out fast, so make sure you go onto our website and register for one of those events.
That's focusonustrategy.com/events. A couple remaining in the year here on the 20th and the 22nd. So just go to the events calendar, and they're always from 11 a.m. To 1 p.m. It includes lunch, and it'll be a great chance to communicate some of the business problems you're having with a group of your peers to get some of those solutions worked out. You'd be surprised at what you can get from a small, intimate group of your peers. It's that mastermind effect that we talked about yesterday with Valerie Lipstein. And when you get a bunch of people together in a room, something happens, a synergy comes about that is, greater than, the sum of the individual parts. So take advantage of the CEO exchanges, one being on the 20th and the 22nd.
And don't be afraid to know that I realize it's right before Christmas, but a lot of people don't have a lot going on that week. And this is a good time if you're looking for some strategy ideas for 2017 or how to move your business forward. This is a great place to come. There's 2 that week. one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. So don't be afraid to come in and present those challenges and get some help before the new year.
Also, we have a Facebook poll up in the Facebook group Focus Fridays, where we invite you to continue the conversation online. And this week it has to do with our guest, Rick Tauceda, with regard to referrals regarding a photographer. So, Juliann, fill us in on what the poll question is.
The poll question is, I believe it has to do with why you hire a
what resource
what
would you use in
I'm
hiring
sorry,
a photographer? And there's 3 or 4 choices there, and the one that is getting the most attention right now is referral based, and that comes about on the show a lot of times is a lot of different sources for picking up business, but it's the power of referral that is so important to a business. And so we invite you in there though, and to answer the question, Focus Fridays Facebook group. And again, it is, what do you look for when you're choosing a photographer? And that's in ahead of our guest today in studio, which is the show's photographer, Rick Tauceda. He is the owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography, and he's also on your host committee for the Focus on Entrepreneurs
He's
Conference.
the official photographer of the Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference. He's a great wealth, not only very talented photographer, but he's a great resource, connections and knowing about events. He's done many events, photographed many events, and so we're very honored to have you as part of our host committee.
Thank you.
Yes, and Rick has been with the program since day one of that business show, and I'm fortunate to meet him actually during the Jamie Maloney Real Estate show days. And so he's each and every morning taking the beautiful photographs. I wish I could claim those as my own photographs, but they're not. I do a lot of posting of photography, but it's not my work. I'm just repurposing his images, and you'd be surprised at how many guests have changed their profile images to the headshots and to the shots in studio from them here in the radio station.
He's a digital genius.
So Rick Tauceda, welcome into the program this morning.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, Juliann. And
Good morning.
happy Friday, Tampa Bay. I just want to look back, and I remember that phone call from Akash, and he says, "Hey, Rick, I want you to meet Jamie Maloney." I said, "Who's Jamie?" And I said, "Well, he's a real estate agent, and he's got a radio program that he wants to talk to you about." And we met at the lodge at it's October 15th, actually.
Yes.
So it's been a little over 2 years, and wow, what a ride.
Yes, and I was looking for a photographer, somebody to exchange services, because I was, I couldn't, pay for a photographer to be in here each and every morning. But yeah, I knew that there was an opportunity to get business from all of the different guests that come through here. And I spoke with 3 others prior to you that all turned it down. And you saw the opportunity, and you've been in here every single show. I know you've derived a number of business, and you're known across the Tampa Bay business community as like the premier business photographer now.
It's kind of funny because we photographed probably over 1,000 business leaders on the show and off the show. I mean, it's just been quite a interesting mix of people. But the beauty of it is that, number one, I get to practice my photography in the studio every morning. It's like jogging, and then you meet these interesting folks. But more important, you just learn something every morning. Every morning I learn something new.
Yes, that's the power of this program. And so I thank Rick on the air
you
for coming into the program each and every morning, and also for Juliann for choosing for the host committee on the Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference. And so this discussion throughout today's Focus Friday is going to focus on Rick and his photography business. So, Rick, how did you get started with photography?
Well, the genesis of it was way back in May of 2000. What happened was my wife and I, who was a Continental employee at the time, we had free flights all over the world. So we chose Australia, and we ended up a week in Australia, and I had this cheapo Instamat. You remember these yellow throwaway Kodak?
Right.
I had one of those, and all around me were these Asian folks with Canons, Nikon, that looked like bazookas, and here I snuck out my little thing, and I took a picture. I was really embarrassed by it when I look back at it. But I thought to myself, here I am, halfway around the world. What am I doing with this stupid little camera? And the pictures were horrible. So I made the choice when I came back to the United States to get my first digital camera, and then the bug bit.
Yeah. Did you have to go through formal training to learn to use the camera, or did you teach yourself through trial and error?
I did it as a hobby the first few years with my kids' soccer games and a couple of wedding events I was asked to photograph. And the more I did it, the more I liked it, especially when we traveled. So it wasn't until 2006 when the Postal Service, I was working with the Postal Service at the time, they wanted to move me to Memphis. And I said no. So I took the alternative, which was an early out, took an early retirement. And right at that time, I joined a Photography Guild called Tampa Area Professional Photographers Association, TAPA. That was when I realized how bad I was. Yeah. I looked at my pictures previous to that, and so I put myself under the tutelage of two good photographers, and I just went to all their workshops.
How much goes into the actual taking of the shot versus the editing on the back side? Do you edit every single shot? Do you ever just get that perfect shot? You say, I don't need to do anything with this. This is good to go.
Yeah. There are those shots, but there's some shots where there's a picture within a picture. You look at a shot and you say, oh, look at that person. You know, it may not be the main subject, but you'll find that most of the photographs you throw away, there's actually another picture in there, and that's what you got to do. You got to find that picture and bring it out. I shoot in camera raw, which simply means it's not a JPEG. All the ingredients, all the data's there, and I can enhance color and make photograph much more visual.
Did you know you had that artistic imprint inside of you before? Because you worked at the Postal Service,
yes,
right?
I was
for
in
many
the
years.
Logistics side for 23 years, and learned a lot. And through those years, I was also, after 2000, picking up the camera and traveling, and that's when I began to think about this as a business after retirement. So, the good thing is the post office eliminated my job, and then I latched on with Valpak. I helped their delivery team in the mail industry. We traveled the country fixing mail problems with them. But even then, in 2013 came around, Valpak began to downsize themselves, and that's when I hit the streets with photography, and it was a scary, scary moment. It was scary. But I haven't looked back. It's been great. Just been referrals has been the big.
Do you have to have an artistic mindset to be a good photographer? Because I don't consider myself to have an artistic mindset, and so if I look at an image, I settle for less so often than someone such as yourself would.
I don't know if it's more artistic as it is more of a trained eye. When I first started taking pictures, that's what I was doing. I was just snapping a camera. But now when I look at a situation, I start from the back and the background. Who's back there? Is there a tree coming out of your head? And I start moving forward to the foreground and look for that moment, that aha
Those are those
moment.
pictures that go viral, the tree out of the head and the, the crazy stuff that you see, that those are the ones that you go, oh my gosh, what is that?
Currently talking to Rick Tauceda. He's the owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography. Also handles the photographer each and every morning here and That Business Show. Learn more about his services over at his website, which is ricktauceda.com, and Tauceda is spelled Tauceda, or give him a call at 813-641-4757. Again, 813-641-4757. He's going to be with us throughout the remainder of the hour, so please stay tuned with us on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Juliann Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again. Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Serious crash investigation has Tarpon Springs Road shut down in both directions between Boy Scout Road and Gun Highway, so you'll have to use Boy Scout to get around this situation or farther to the north using Trinity to State Road 54. Also heavy traffic now on southbound Veterans Expressway from Lutz Lake Fern to Hutchinson. And a crash being cleared on southbound Dale Mabry approaching Water. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
Today, mostly cloudy with light rain in the morning, then clearing in the afternoon, high 63. Tonight, mostly clear, low 45. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 71.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Our guest on this edition of Focus Fridays is the show photographer Rick Tauceda, owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography. Learn more at that website, ricktauceda.com. So, Rick, what type of photography do you do? Is there a genre of photography that you do more of?
You know, when I first started, I heard this from a lot of the existing photographers that you had to specialize in your niche. And I believe in that. But in these changing times, I feel that a niche could limit your revenue stream. So I made a conscious decision not to stick with one genre of photography. For example, fashion photography. Nothing against fashion photography, but there's so many other revenue streams of photography out there, whether it's real estate, family portraiture, headshots, events, weddings, food.
What do you enjoy the most in terms of photography and shoots?
I think I like people.
Just a basic headshot shoot?
People, yeah. It's just interesting because everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own character, their own persona, and capturing that in a digital medium is an extraordinary thing. I've had the privilege of, photographing some interesting people in my life, in my short life in photography. For example, I got a call one day from a good friend of mine. She was 66 years old, and she said, my mother's 106. Would you photograph her? And I went over to the house, and Florence was there, and she had been through 3 wars, and
Wow.
just amazing, clear as a bell thinking lady, and picked up the camera, and she smiled at me, and I hear her under her breath go, cheese. I said, Florence, you don't have to say cheese. She kept saying cheese, so finally I let her go with cheese, and took a picture, and 3 weeks later she passed. She passed away.
Wow.
So it was an amazing time to meet such a person.
So much history that we all have, and to
Exactly.
be able for yourself to be able to capture those stories from her, and in the photographs that you took, just amplify your experience.
I
as a
drive my wife
photographer.
nuts because I think I sleep with this thing because
Everywhere I see you have your camera
yeah,
on you. Yes.
man, I don't want to miss a moment.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
do you take it shopping with you?
I do. It's in my car. I do not leave this because there were a couple of times where I thought, man, look at that rainbow, man, look at that sunset, you know. But
do most photographers carry their camera around everywhere they go?
I know some that don't. They've been downsized and they're going with mirrorless cameras that are much more compact. But when we travel, I take it because you just never know. And I'll give you another example. We were in Rome visiting my wife's cousins, and we were at a papal mass. And sure enough, Pope Francis is coming in our direction. And I thought, there's 150,000 people at that day. And he came right in front of me, I mean, as far as you and I were, and someone hoisted up a baby, and he blessed the baby, and bam, I got the shot. And when I look at that shot, I'm thinking, that was an incredible moment, you know, such an incredible...
Just to see it alone, but to capture it permanently.
Exactly.
How often do you go to get a shot like that and the battery's dead or something? Does that happen a lot?
That has happened here. That's why I carry 2.
You ever miss a shot like that because the battery was dead? Like, all the stuff.
I'll give you another example. I was fishing one time with my brother-in-law, and one of his maintenance guy happened to be a POW in the Hanoi Hilton in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and he was in the same cell block or area with John McCain.
Oh, wow.
And so I asked him if I could photograph him, and he would not smile, but I did photograph him, and it was just a powerful image of, you could just see the years of toll that the Hanoi Hilton, you know, took on his life. So that kind of thing, people just interest me a lot. So,
who are some of the companies around the Tampa Bay region or clients that you've worked with?
Well, I've done projects for Bright House Networks, Valpak, my old employer. They've flown me across the country in different areas for some of their conventions. Done work for Chappell Roberts, I think I said that right, and Starkey Ranch is a new development in Pasco County. And I do a lot for nonprofits as well, like the March of Dimes, photographing some of their events, especially their children.
And I noticed it's your website, again, ricktauceda.com, that you have a lot of the different shoots on your website there in I guess, packages or whatnot where people can go and see, like the Aga Khan Foundation or the awards show dinner, all the different things that you go to. And do you do that with all your different shoots, or do you select certain events to put up on the website?
Well, what I try to do is break down the galleries into certain genres of photography, whether it's events, whether it's weddings, portraiture, food, businesses. So
we got that up on the live video stream
So
right
you can
now,
see
available
it's,
from TampaBayRadio.com.
It's pretty comprehensive. I had one photographer tell me that I had too many pictures up there, but you know what? This is it. This is my life.
I wonder how you protect your work, your copyright, when we come back from the break.
Sure.
Again, currently talking to Rick Tauceda, owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography. Learn more at ricktauceda.com. You're listening to Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
South of Waters, one on eastbound Brandon Boulevard at Mount Carmel Road, southbound US 19 approaching Tampa Road, crash there. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uderick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, offers more than 1,000 free online resources to inform and inspire youth and high school sports coaches, parents, student athletes, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
1250 winds, weather center forecast. Look for a few morning scattered showers. Cloudy and windy today. We'll see the high only reach the low 60s, mid-40s tonight, 30s to the north. Weekend getting into the upper 60s near 70 tomorrow, mid-upper 70s Sunday. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Juliann Nichols is in the co-host seat every Friday on this on the Focus Fridays edition of the program, and she is with CEO of Focus on You Strategy, where she brings out the CEO in you, and learn more at Focus on You or FocusOnYouStrategy.com. Currently in studio with Rick Tauceda. He is the owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography. Also handles the show photography each and every morning here on the program. Learn more at ricktauceda.com. And Rick, you know, we're talking about how you had all of your images up there on the website, and it's so easy with technology today to just right-click an image, save as, post here, post there. How do you go about, or can you go about, protecting your work?
Well, right now I'm hosting my images with a company called SmugMug out of San Francisco, and in that website, you can't right-click and copy an image. You can do a screenshot, you know, but you're looking at an image at 72 DPI, which is not going to render very well on print or maybe on a small website. But if somebody's going to steal images, they're going to take them. There's just no getting around it. I was at a conference in Orlando, and I saw one of my fellow photographers' photographs at a PowerPoint presentation, and I knew that he purchase those images, but people just do those things.
And how do you prove that the image is yours? Do you have to have it on your website? I mean, how do you say
well,
hey,
one way is to go through the Copyright Office. There's you can submit I think it's $35 for each CD you submit. You can send a low res image of your files.
So you'd have to send them all the different images that you take. Yeah. I mean, so that's a process in and of itself. Do photographers actually take the time to send all their images and copyright them all?
Yeah, there's new legislation being introduced to protect the artists, not only photographers but artists as well. That I'm not sure where it is in the Congress right now, but it's it's leaning heavily to protect the artist, the creator of the images. So.
I didn't know that. I didn't know people did that. You send CDs into the copyright office, and then they're stored on some massive digital hard drive.
Somewhere
I guess,
in the cloud, you know.
Wow,
but,
incredible! But yeah, just technology makes it so easy to share and take images. And I was asking you earlier, you know, about the people, the photographers that were, you know, in the business prior to the digital age. Did they have to reinvent themselves when the digital age came around?
Yeah, you're looking back in '95 to 2000 when the digital camera was first coming onto the scene. They had to reinvent themselves. Some of them did not give up their film techniques. They still loved the film aspect of photography, but it's revolutionized their workflow with Lightroom and Photoshop. These are the amazing tools that I use to enhance images. And I
remember one of my first cameras, or parents, you know, had the camera. The old Polaroids actually spit out the image. Are those still even being produced, or are those being used?
I think there is some, but I don't know who uses them. You know. But digital cameras now, and the one I'm using is a Canon 5D Mark III. The body's $3,000, the lens is $2,000. It's quite an investment, but it gives you the most optimal image resolution, and they're getting even smarter right now with 4K video.
So many photographers spent their careers, you know, learning photography, and then in the 90s, the digital age came around. They had to relearn all of this and stuff. I mean, the basics are the same about technology. I mean, about light and image and all that stuff.
But the principles of composition and posing and light, off-camera flash, those are still skill sets that you have to learn. In fact, I have an apprentice right now. This young gal, she's very sharp girl, but she's picking it up pretty quick, and I'm going to use her more often.
And what about Photoshop? Can you be a photographer and not know how to use Photoshop?
You're disadvantaged.
Yeah,
you're disadvantaged. Because,
so for the people that were technologically challenged and didn't want to get onto that technology bandwagon, were they able to survive as photographers without technology?
Photoshop is not an easy program.
Yeah,
it really is not.
I mess with it. Yes,
but once you get past the concept of layers in Photoshop, it's downhill. I mean, it really is a tremendous tool. Lightroom has come on the scene in the last couple of years, and most photographers are now using Lightroom for workflow. So when I shoot an event, I'm going to port everything into Lightroom. I'm going to clean up the images in Lightroom. But if I see something that I got to remove a branch or a table or a chair, I'm going to go into Photoshop.
Okay, so you're not a Photoshop user as much as Lightroom then these days.
It was the reverse. At one time, I was like 80% Photoshop and 20% Lightroom. Now it's the reverse.
But you're right about Photoshop. It's one of those programs, unless you're skilled or taught, it's one of those programs you open up and you don't know what to do. It's like opening up QuickBooks for the first time. You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's one of those programs that's just not laid out in a logic or linear fashion. You've got to understand the brand or understand the industry, like accounting. You got to understand photography to understand how that works.
It's a learning curve, but it's once you know it, though, it's like riding a bike. I don't even think of the commands on Photoshop. I just do them immediately and get the work done out, so.
But I think it still goes back to, the fact that it's not everybody can be a photographer. I mean, he has a very rare talent, I believe. And I think that that's what distinguishes him from a lot of other photographers, is that he sees things and he's able to make you look. I mean, I'm always amazed when I see the before and after, even of myself, that he's changed it just enough to bring out the best in you, but it doesn't look like you've been photoshopped. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, it's really good. And so many times I've had people that do it and they Photoshop the heck out of you, and I'm like, I am not that skinny. But thank you for trying,
And also, as a photographer, as an artist, sometimes you are placed in a situation where, do I make that change to somebody? Maybe there's a certain feature that you need to adjust, or you got to kind of, do I make that change or do I not?
If there's a clear blemish, I just recently photographed a couple of folks and their businesses, and one of them had a mole on the cheek, and I said, do you want the mole removed? And she said, no. I wanted it. I said, okay, good. One time I got a phone call from a young gentleman. He says, please photograph my engagement thing, and showed up, and he had complete acne all over his face. I mean, I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And I asked him, do you want me to, clean the acne? And He says, yeah, please.
But you got to make those decisions sometimes, and some people identify with their different traits, and but whereas you see it as a flaw, other people like, that's who I am, and so you have to make that call when you're doing the editing of the images. How much time is spent editing the package versus shooting the package on site?
Well, if, for example, a wedding, you might shoot a wedding for 4 hours, but there's probably another 16 hours of editing after that.
Wow.
So, because if you shoot 400 images, 800 images, 1,000 images, I'm very meticulous, and I'm going to go through every image and clean it up as best as I can without spending too much time. And then you show the images to the bridal couple, and their eyes light up.
I don't think people really realize how much work and effort goes into just that one picture, to capture that one moment to make it look just perfect. And I that's what I think I value the most in you. He recently did our staff's photos for Focus. We're redoing our website, and he was so patient with us. He came in, spent half a day with us, just taking every kind of different shot you can think of, and he's putting that up on the screen right now.
Oh, there we go on the live stream. Yes.
All of our profile pictures, but also just capturing different moments of us strategizing and what that looks like as a team, and also just the environment that we work in. We work in a very bright, fun, and happy place, and so capturing that was really, really awesome. So,
what would you say differentiates you then from the other photographers that are on the market?
Well, one of the things I think my philosophy of photography has changed over the years. It was taking pictures, and then as I look back, it really is more of I look at it as a window into somebody's space and time, and whether it's a product or whether it's their family, and I try to capture that moment, because pictures do tell a story, and you can see when someone is being posed and someone where they're more natural, and I try to get them in that natural state. Another attribute is patience. Very much patience. I had a gal, she was from Brooklyn. She was an Aetna employee. I was photographing about 100 employees for Aetna. And she blinked every time I photographed her. And by the 21st time I got her, I said, "Why don't you stand up?" And I brought her by the window and made her feel comfortable. And she sat down and took the picture, and she didn't blink. So it was just a matter of patience.
Can you Photoshop somebody's eyes back open when you go into the editing?
I do that with you sometimes.
Do you do it? So it is possible. You can Photoshop the eyes back open if you're in
the
a
latest
pinch.
version of Photoshop has a liquefy technique where it actually opens up your eye. Now, you do look a little alienish, like you're from outer space sometimes if you do it too much. But yeah, you can open up the eye just a little bit.
What are the most difficult shoots to do? I think you told me like shooting food, for instance, is a difficult thing to do.
It's very tedious. Very tedious. Because
is it just to give it that fresh look that you see on?
Right, and sometimes, depending on how much focus you want on a particular piece of food, you may take multiple images and mesh them together. Same thing with real estate. Real estate can be tedious. So that type of photography, you have to do it right.
You say multiple pictures and mesh them together. So
I'll give you an example. I did a diamond ring that was $50,000, and it was multiple diamonds on it. And I took about 8 layers of pictures called stacking. And then in the software, I merged all the at different focus points. So instead of the front looking focus and the back looking blurry, the whole ring looked completely in focus. And so that's kind of tough.
So for all the people out there taking pictures with their phone and say, "Man, I'm a great photographer," then you're talking about meshing 8 images together to people realize, well, maybe these phone images are not of the quality I think they really are.
Right.
Yeah, everybody needs to stop taking pictures of their food and posting it.
Yeah,
on Facebook.
I know. That's one of my pet
peeves.
peeves.
Drives me crazy.
Yes,
you know
I don't
what it
wanna
does?
see
It makes the food look worse because you're just like, you're eating that. It's not becoming.
What do you attribute your success to as a photographer?
That's an easy one. The Tampa Bay business owners clearly brought me to another level of business entrepreneurs. I looked at photography differently when I joined TBBO. I realized that there was so much more to learn about pricing, scheduling, networking with people. So the TBBO family, the community of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of encouragement coming out of that group. In Tampa Bay, there's a whole movement of entrepreneurs that's really unseen. There's a confluence beneath the city of people that are just coming together and forming, businesses.
Like the conference.
The conference, I was just going to say that. The conference is going to be a critical point for a lot of people. And they, once they find out what it's about, they better join. They better hop on and get this tremendous teaching is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But also the that business show, this show right here actually exposed me to a lot of different types of businesses. Like the other day, we had somebody talking about business brokers was Sally.
Yes, I know.
Something totally foreign, but it was something I'd learned. There's another world out there, another universe of different types of businesses that could use photography.
Currently talking to Rick Tauceda, owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography, and learn more at ricktauceda.com on this edition of Focus Fridays. Coming back from a break, I'm going to get some tips from him for the people that are out there using their phone to get some quality images out of the phone, and so stay tuned for that segment. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit billmeyerham.com. That's billmeyerham.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
From the Spectrum Traffic Center.
Crash a westbound I-4 west of McIntosh in the left-hand lane right near the way station. That has traffic now slow back to the Plant City area. Crash investigation has Tarpon Springs Road shut down in both directions between Boy Scout and Gun Highway. Also a crash on eastbound State Road 60 in the right-hand lane at Mount Carmel. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org.
Today, mostly cloudy with light rain in the morning, then clearing in the afternoon, high 63. Tonight, mostly clear, low 45. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 71.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Each and every Friday, Juliann Nichols holds down the co-host seat where she helps bring out the CEO in you, and she is the CEO of Focus on You Strategy. And learn more at that website, focusonustrategy.com. Our guest for this edition of Focus Fridays is Rick Tauceda, owner of Rick Tauceda Visual Photography, and learn more at that website, ricktauceda.com. And he also handles the in-studio photographs each and every morning on this program. So, Rick, for the people out there that are just, the average everyday, want to be a photographer using the phones or their own cameras and whatnot, let's share with them some tips then that they could use to enhance some of their images. What's Photography 101 for those people?
Well, if you go on Facebook, the Museum of Horrible Photography, very simple. If you notice when people are doing selfies, they're extending their hands out like this.
Yes.
One of the problems with extending your hand is there's body shake. So you're going to always most likely get a soft image, not a sharp image. The best thing to do is to stabilize the phone onto a post, a wall, whatever, something that's stationary. So avoid extending your arms out. If you're shooting, bring your elbows close to your tummy and then shoot. That way
you get a steadier image in that position.
That's really tough for short people like me. I struggle with it all the time. You always see like the top of my head and everybody else in the background.
Yeah. This time of year with Christmas, you're going to do a lot of maybe children photography. A big common mistake is you're an adult, you're standing up here and you're shooting down at the child. Bend the knee, sit down and get eye level with the child. You'll get a totally different image. It's a beautiful moment to capture a child by a Christmas tree at eye level. It's just
I know something I've learned. I know something that I've learned in here is being in the same plane. Talk to us about the same plane. What that
lot
means.
of times when you shoot in groups, you might have tiers of people in the front versus in the back. If you can get everybody's noses or chins in the same plane, you're more likely to have everybody in focus. The person in the back isn't going to be soft or out of focus.
So get them in in a linear position where the noses are kind of all lining up and then everything.
Right.
Okay. All right. Another tip.
So lighting is another one. So a lot of people forget that window light is one of the most beautiful lights you can have. So if you buy a window, bring your subject close to that window. I avoid the camera flash because it just washes things out. But sometimes you just can't avoid that. But if you have somebody that's wearing a white T-shirt and you have a flash, bring that white T-shirt to that person, and sometimes you'll get a bounce off that.
Where should the subject be in relation to the primary light source? Should the primary light source be to the back of them, to the front, to the front of them?
Yeah. Okay. Anything from the back is going to create a silhouette or a dark shadow.
Okay.
Yeah. You see that on beach images. So just turn the subject toward the sunlight halfway, and you're going to get a beautiful shot.
For people that are trying to move on, past the auto feature on the camera or on the phone, what's the next step they should start to mess with on a camera?
YouTube. When you start shooting manual, it's like riding a bike. So, I rarely shoot in auto unless there's fast action or things are changing. I'll drop it to auto. But a lot of times in the studio, for example, these yellow lights, I'll shoot manual to get a more white balance in the images as well. So it's quite a learning curve, but it's it's not that hard. In fact, I've given tutorials to wannabe photographers as well, so they can contact me if they want to.
You know, I think the hardest picture I've ever had to take was, you know how they always talk about the super moon, and you go out and you see this big giant moon. I always get this little tiny dot, and I'm like looking in the camera, and then I look away, and I'm like, how come I can't see the same thing? What is that about that?
Well, a lot of times they're using 200 millimeter to 400 millimeter zoom lenses. That's why you'll get this big,
huge moon.
Huge moon, yeah. You won't get it in a phone or even a compact camera. You just gonna get that small little.
Yeah.
But you need the 2000 on up lens. That's very expensive.
Very expensive, I imagine so.
Lenses. So that's what they're using.
And you're not going to get that on your phone ever.
No.
What is your next step as a photographer in 2017?
Well, I got about 4 goals that I think I've identified. One is that I want to create a coffee table book. Not that I'm going to make a lot of money. I've got certain images that are in my head right now and that I want to put in a coffee table book. And
there's a whole Seinfeld episode about that.
Really? I need to watch it.
Made a book about coffee tables.
I need to watch it then. Number 2 is I want to focus more on with interior design folks and bring more of the travel photography that I've done over the years and bring it on a commercial wall of some sort. 3 is that I want to focus on grandparents. I'm a grandparent of 5, and I came to realize I don't have any pictures of me and my grandfather or my grandmother. And it's just an opportunity that's overlooked a lot of times in family events. So I want to photograph grandparents more. Last but not least, I'd like to expand my client base outside of Florida. And I've got some networking I'm doing in Louisiana, which actually is where I'm from. I grew up. And I'm going to be traveling there more often to take some photography clients there as well.
I have a feeling we're going to see Rick on, in much bigger places in the future.
Well,
he does an amazing job.
Does a great job.
Great work.
So.
Yep.
Well, Rick, we've got to wrap up the interview. We greatly appreciate the support on the program. The business community here in Tampa definitely is a fan of your images. And so, again, learn more at ricktauceda.com. So, Rick, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Juliann, thank you so much for the support.
Don't forget, focus on entrepreneursconference.com coming up April 27th and 28th. And you want to register now. We're still looking for sponsors and key presenters for the conference as well.
And also a couple CEO exchanges coming up on the 20th and the 22nd. And you can register for those over at focusonustrategy.com. And be sure to answer the poll question put up in the Facebook group Focus Fridays on what you look for when you're choosing a photographer. Again, the Focus Fridays group up in the facebook.com/Focus Fridays. Learn more about this program at tampabayradio.com. Also, we've got a new site up, thatbusinessshow.com, where all the audios are easily available, searchable, and shareable on demand. So thatbusinessshow.com. And if you're wondering how to get onto the program, please visit tbsinterview.com and connect with us all across social media. We're on just about every platform out there. Just search for That Business Show. You've been listening to the Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.